try and do this on annotation. I need to get some blank page, like a notepad or something. Right, here we go, folks. Right now, so I was talking about the. Where's Notepad? Oh. Annotation. So a bit of luck, it should work. Okay, so forms, variables, and data. How do we move these things around? I gave a previous principle of programming, which is simply input, process, output. Okay, this is simply programming fundamentals, and this is something you can apply to when you get confused by a program. What the hell am I supposed to do around that? Which usually happens. Just go back to the principle. Okay, input, process, output, and from here then you can work on this process. Is really your code. The actual programming goes on here, and with this processing you have the pseudocode, which then gives you an idea for what's actually happening. In pseudocode you have the flow diagrams, and from these flow diagrams you then can start programming the language out of it. Okay, and what I'll ask you to do in this particular task 3, and I'll help you to summarize it with me. What is the input going to be of this program, Scott?
I know, I'm just thinking it's going to cost me about 20 quid to get home.
Yeah,
No
I won't do.
district, no overground.
Oh yeah,
All right.
that's not so great. Scott, can you tell me what the input is to this task 3?
The input.
The task 3, what is it? I've just explained this input, process, output. I'm asking you, what is the input of that program going to be? You look at that. Look at the task, please. Let's bring up the Word document. Go to Google, download it, and just to see if we're sure we're all on the same page with this. Yeah, computing, programming fundamentals. Somewhere down the bottom of that list of stuff is a Word document. Scan your eye across. We're all on the same page with it. Very bottom. Right bottom.
Yes, you know.
So it asks you to program is described, task 3. Okay. You're going to pull it apart. What is the input? Separate out the input, process, and output of the program. What is involved? Go to the stop. Input. You see the input there?
A number? I don't really know what
Yeah.
you're doing.
You're going to task 3. I want to understand.
Yeah. My grade assessor, yeah. What program calculates results from mathematics?
Yeah. Task 3 is describing what task we should do.
Create a function. Work out that function. Calculate the average grade.
Yeah. Good.
Display the result.
Good.
Here. You should input one grade per grade.
Right. It asks you to input 5 grades. Okay. So input is going to be 5 grades in. That's what I'm taking in here. Like different percentages, different subjects, networks, coding, whatever, right? That's your input. And what's the output going to be for that? The output of this. The output. What's it going to show you back? What's the output the program's going to do? This is not the code challenge, but I just did it right, just the basic bit. All right. I'm putting 5 grades in. What should be the output? Just say it there. Yep. Anyone?
Average grade.
Average. Okay. So, very simply, input 5 grades, output an average. Program, therefore, the task of it is simply to take those 5 grades in, form them a mathematical operation, and echo out to the user the average grade. That's the job of the function, work out average grade in itself. Okay. Now, the other bit that goes around the complexity of this is simply right here, average function. An average function is what this is all about. So when we're working with PHP, the difference is this, is when we're taking input in from the user, yeah, Graham, okay. When we're taking input in from the user, it has to be through HTML form. So I'll make a form, HTML, with different boxes in there, a submit button, take my 5 grades in, post it to another page. Okay, this is going to be a HTML page. This is going to be a PHP program. I post it over here. I take these variables over here. I do something with them. This is a PHP page. It can do calculations and do clever stuff. And I return back to the user like an output. The PHP page can do that output too. It can show something. If I echo, yeah, it will show me my results. So I need a way of being able to put in form variables into another page, use the variables, and return it back an answer. So I'm going to get an idea of what my program's supposed to do. I've got to make one page which is just a form. One page which has got the code in it. That's it. And one should post to that particular page. Now, form, as you come across this in the HTML language Chantal 2, forms have some quite important aspects to them. One is when you put in data fields into a form, and that one you did before, you take an input value, like a name or email address on a form, right? You fill that out quite regularly. These are called input boxes. Okay, just input boxes. And each one of those input boxes has got a name. Okay, you give it a name. So if I call one of them a grade, call one of the names like grade 1, I called it grade 1, that input box, and I push it to a PHP page, I can call grade 1 from the form sending something to me. Yeah, form sends something in 2 ways, either by post or by get. Okay, and that's called a form action, post or get. Post, okay, hides everything inside when it's posting to PHP. So when you see the URL on the top, right, when you hit the button, nothing is shown in that URL. It's just all hidden. Yeah. Get, however, puts everything into the URL. It says like name equals @Abraham, email address equals whatever it is, like gmail.com. It shows you everything. It's not very secure. It's all going on that link chain, yeah, that URL chain. Then you get web address, and you've got those values at the end. That's the link chain. So, given that's the case, which one is more secure, post or get? Post shows, post doesn't show anything in the URL chain. Yeah, get does, shows everything. Well, post is more secure, right? It's hiding everything. So we use a method post when we're working with forms. So a form has input boxes, it also has a method, get or post, and it also has a destination. Where am I posting my form to? And it posts it to here. Yeah, it posts it to this PHP page. We're going to call this, okay, just simply form.html. We're going to call this grade.php, just for argument's sake. It's 2 files separately. Yeah. So what we need to understand is, how does a form bring over stuff, what the code calls, get the variables over, and how do we know they're the right thing? Yeah. Then when we have the variables over, and we've got them from the form, we can do functions on them, some kind of a processing on them, and then we can echo back our answer. That's really the principle of class 3 is about, before we go into code challenge. Okay? The code challenge beyond this is simply this. If I get a grade over here, and it is, say, like 75, over here, my code is clever enough to know if I see 75 come to me, I'm going to echo back the grade is grade A, based on some pre-established boundaries. That's how you extend your program. So for me, my advice to you is you first do the function of average, get that working by itself as a bit of code. You give it some values already, and you work out that you can do a mathematical calculation in PHP by itself. But enough to just do that on its own. I can calculate an average and get an echo out. Then you work on the form, and then you change this program here, function, to actually suck in the variable values that are coming through. That's probably the best way of working out. Yeah. And as you make errors along the way in syntax and logical errors, make a note of these errors, because you need to document the errors in another task. It'll report you right at the end. The errors you found, how you fixed them, what you did. So all errors are brilliant. Yeah, errors are going to be helpful in this sense. I don't count against you. So no problem if you make mistakes. So I want you to work out the function first, then work on the form, and then get the function working together. Yeah. Right. So I'm now going to clear this. Right. It's on the video I'm doing anyway. I hope. I'm going to clear this and then show you some stuff from W3 Schools. Are there any questions of this stage?
So
Is it all
basically,
clear, right?
quick question.
Yeah.
Basically, we're gonna have to create two forms.
Yeah.
Well, two different sets of
One
codes.
form, yeah, one form.
One
One
form,
code page.
one code page.
Alright, one of each is enough to do it. And then later on, you can make it all in one. It's interesting to make it all in one. It's optimizations you can make as you get more confident.
So
That could contain a form and code inside it itself.
in one code, in one set of
Yeah,
code.
it can post to itself as well. You can do the same way it posts back to itself. One page becomes more cleverer and does more. We start with building blocks. I think it's better. Any other questions on this conceptually, right? Good. So UMass, for example, in extending your program, you can look at validation, but it would be nice for you to look at how you can post to yourself. Yeah, you can use a form can be on the same page as the grade. You can put the form on the same page as the grade PHP, and you can use a PHP self command to post it to yourself. Yeah.
All in the same form.
All in one page, yeah.
One page.
Yeah. One PHP page. So maybe you should look into examples like Stack Overflow posting to yourself. And it's using something called is self, PHP self. It's that kind of language. I mean, you can explore.
I have 2 pages.
Yeah, I don't know you've got two, but I think you can optimize further. You know, when you're looking at higher grade, you need ways of coding that's more efficient, more optimal. Yeah, you've got the time to do it. You've gone ahead. Yeah. Right. Okay, folks. So let's talk about now the let's talk about the form handling. So here we go. Simple form. This is a simple HTML form. Look at this. Form action. Welcome PHP. Method equals post. Input type text. Name equals name. Oh, Abe, I can do it. Abe. Camera. Anyway, anyone's in class, I can do that. So you got welcome PHP. Input type text is name. Input type text is email. Okay. Don't worry, we've only got long to go now, Graham.
What other input
Hang on.
types have we got?
Loads of them. Radio button, checkboxes, there's all sorts of types of different variables available, yeah? So we need to work first just simply with input only. As you learn more with Chantel, you'll learn more about the other kinds of variable you're going to have, right? And you are going to make with her a PHP page, do a simple contact form, mailer. So text, name and email, and then a submit button. That's how you make a simple form. It looks like this. Name and email. Okay, so all you've got to do, similarly for your own little form, is simply just that, 5 fields, but grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. That's the form. You can all do that based on this example, right? But where you're posting to, call it grade.php. That's a separate code we're going to work on then. All right, that's it. Now, when you have a page going somewhere else, your grade.php page over here, that's now going to receive in the variables. To receive in the variables, this is how you do it. This here is saying to this person, when you fill the form out, this is now welcome PHP, right? This is the welcome PHP page here, how it looks. Welcome, echo, which is print, post name. So this is getting from here, that name value, whatever's been input into this form, out. That is the value there. Bang, right? That's it. And the email is getting out that email address from the other page too. So this is what the output looks like if the form's filled out correctly. Yeah. And this is using the post method. I mentioned the get method too. The get method is exactly the same, except you write method equals get rather than method equals post. Okay, but you are advising you to use a post method. It's more secure. The output is exactly the same. You get that. All that's changing is you put method is get, and your receiving code should say echo $_get name $_get email. Okay, that's what's going on there. So get versus post are the same. We call these types of variables super globals, always accessible regardless of scope. You can get them inside a function, get them outside of function. So these are called super global variables. They can be used anywhere in a program. And I mentioned also, you know, when you're using these types of things, you can see with a get these values up here to show you what's being posted. So one of the benefits of Get is Get will display everything in the URL. So if you bookmark the page with Get on it, it saves it, and you go back with the same variables and values. Yeah, you can't do it on Post. Okay, so that's making the simple form. So I'd like you to try and make a simple form, post it over to your PHP page. The PHP page should have a little function in there, okay, which does the kind of calculations. Yeah, and then we should give back an answer. Yeah, so using the post command and the $_post, you should be able to get the variables across and do something with this.
Just be sure. They're all going to be in one code.
One HTML form for you guys, one HTML form, one PHP page.
Right.
Yeah, don't do the one page thing yet. That'll come later. All right. You awake enough to do this, GD?
Yeah.
I know it's difficult training for the Ghana football team in the early morning and then coming into class afterwards. It's going to tire you out. There's double life you're living, being Asamoah Gyan.
Even
Jan.
this PHP, it doesn't always have to be like calculator maths based, is it? It's not just a math based code, is it?
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not. It's not.
You can actually make a program out of PHP.
Proper, yeah. You can make loads of things. Complex.
I find it's impossible to follow.
Because the math.
It's too mathy. It's too, and I don't understand it.
The reason why it's
got no
maths.
interest.
Of course, you can't say the practical knowledge. The thing is, these are all operators, Scott. When I start teaching in summer term database-driven websites, like how I make an e-commerce catalog using PHP, you kind of need to know this stuff before you do that. I'm not going to.
I'm not calculators.
Well, we're not. Yeah, you can know about mathematical calculations and operators and how you pass from a form to something else. The reason why I'm giving you maths to do is it's much easier to give you a maths equation and ask you to produce something like a complex algorithm at this stage, isn't it? Maths, you know, but an average something you know, isn't it? Yeah, but we can't do the application. You can't run till you can walk. It's your analogy. You've got to be able to do this basic stuff. We can't. And programming is largely maths. It's based on maths, isn't it? But not too much maths. Well, you know what, Scott? You might have a bit of an issue with maths just because of maths generally, right? But you know, you've done all right at maths actually, with what I've seen. It's just knowing the basics of maths enough to get by on programming. It's just, I mean, there's nothing more than an average in this. That's just a little calculation you can do. The average is fine. But what I need you to do is just get a form posting to another page, getting the variables off it, and then doing something with it. Because next term, I'm going to be not getting them out of a form. I'm getting them out of a database. Like I'm making like a CD catalog, and I'm going to have to like do all sorts of stuff with it. Search engine, I'm making a search engine. We're going to be listing, going to be adding by links. There's lots more involved in that, yeah? Can you have a crack at task 3 though, yeah? Just try and work on the function to start with. So functions, form handling are the two things, and super globals kind of helps, but really it's functions and form handling to start with to do this, yeah? And what you know already so far. All right, that's what you're trying to work on. Yeah, have a go. You want to ask me a question? Question? Can you see something? I'll come, yeah. Ravi, question?
When I run it, it doesn't come up with
What are you running?
I was going on the PHP, right?
So what are you running, sorry?
The example.
Oh, this thing here?
Yeah.
Have you tried doing this?
This
This
is copied the code over.
Did you copy all of it? I mean, the form and the, the form and the PHP page? The form,
Oh no, I don't copied
well, it won't work, will it? If it's not posting it. Like as I said to you, this picture I drew was a form has to go somewhere. It can't just go nowhere, right? It's got to be responsive. I know you missed some of this, yeah? Okay, how far have you got in your programming? Which task are you on? 2. Can I maybe save the video? Can you watch it back? Yeah, just so you see exactly what I did. Okay, all right, hang on.